They call me the Queen of Blades because I won medals on 3 different blades.
Can't and won't are just words, and nobody can predict what anyone is able to do tomorrow, or what will happen to anyone, or what their path will be.
Olympism seeks to create a way of life based on the joy found in effort.
I have to use from this freedom to talk for my country, to the women, and to fight for them.
Hey everyone, Jamie here. We're gonna try something different. We've now interviewed over 350 exceptional women athletes from over 55 countries around the world. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mash up conversation. Let's jump in.
Silver in the 200, bronze in the 100 in the last World Championships. It's Kimberly Alcamada. Alcamada looking to move up in those new blades of hers as well. And Alcamada's on the way too. Ben Susan against Alcamada. Ben Susan, Alcamada, Van Ganswinkel.
They call me the Queen of Blades because I won medals on 3 different blades. Like the first one was Ottobock. The second one was Cyborg. It was a company from Japan. And the last one was Öscher. You see it quite a lot with the yellow stripes on the sides. And there I won the gold medal on. Yeah, it was amazing.
It has been so cool to watch your journey and be cheering for you from afar, Kimberly, for the last 5 years. Why was it that you switched blades, if you don't mind me asking?
When you first start with para-athletics, the Öscher blade is quite a challenging blade where you need to be very strong to control that. Well, you have different categories. Only at that point, I was not in the position for sponsorship. There were possibilities with Ottobock through the prosthesist. And after that, I could get a sponsorship with Cyborg. And they could send me those blades, and otherwise it's very expensive.
So expensive.
Yeah, it's a big problem, but we talk about that later. But so that was like an in-between solution. And when I got the bronze medal on that part, then I was a little bit higher on the ranking, and that's why I could arrange something with Öscher with a new company which helped me with my prosthetic. Yeah, so that's why the ball rolled further.
You mentioned the prohibitive costs of these blades. I know a little bit about it because of what you've shared and other athletes have shared. For people who don't know about this, help us understand.
The problem is actually that the insurance doesn't provide you a sports prosthetic. So if you want to become a performance athlete, or you want to just have a run or just run 5K, for example, you need to start crowdfunding, or you need to go to a foundation, or you need to go to the government. In the Netherlands, there are solutions now to go to if you want to do sports, and they can help you with this. Only the problem is the insurance doesn't provide it, and that's actually quite strange because the medical costs are a lot higher when people are not fit and don't go to the gym. So it's quite strange, and I think this is a worldwide problem.
Fran Brown is a woman of many talents. Not only is she a professional percussionist, she's also a trained circus artist, a skydiver, and a student of physiotherapy.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Fran Brown. I'm a Paralympic cyclist. I'm currently part of the British cycling team. And I'm also a physio. When I'm not riding my bike, I work as a physiotherapist. And I come from a background of several sports. I came to paratriathlon, and before that, paraclimbing.
We have listeners in 56 countries, many of whom are aspiring Paralympians, some of whom have recently gone through their own accidents, trying to rework their identity and who they are in this new body to them. So what advice would you give to individuals who are in that state?
You find yourself with a lot of people telling you what you can't do. and telling you the things you won't be able to do. So actually figure out what you want to be, because that can then guide what you try and what you do. Can't and won't are just words, and nobody can predict what will happen to what anyone is able to do tomorrow, or what will happen to anyone, or what their path will be. I was in rehab with so many people who were told, you'll never walk again, who then did or didn't. And it seemed like there was no predictor accurately to that. Find your values, find who you want to be. If it doesn't look exactly like it looked before, that's fine. But there's a way of somehow finding a way into integrating that into your new life and your new abilities. And it might look differently, but ultimately you're probably similarly going to have the same circle of friendship and group and support system around you. So pull on those and pull on other people's ideas. It was other people's ideas that found me the paragliding route.
So how did you get from that moment to where you are today, a Paralympic silver medalist, a 9-time paracycling world champ?
So doing 2012 actually inspired me. We were able to go and see some of the Olympics as well as the Paralympics. I was inspired by the triathlon and inspired by all the para sports. And I was like, oh, man. And I saw, having then been to para climbing worlds, the disparity of level between paraclimbing worlds at the time and the Paralympics, and what competing for Team GB as part of the Paralympics. Bear in mind, paraclimbing is going to be in the LA Games, so things have changed to move on. But at the time, we had a very loose classification system that bundled people in together in somewhat random ways. We didn't have a coaching structure in the UK. They now have an amazing team. I think they've just selected something like 34 athletes for this year.
I saw that. Huge.
Yeah, we had at the time we had a very small team without really any coaching structure. It was a new endeavor. We didn't have any UK sports support, so you didn't have any physio, any funding, it was all self-led effectively. And then you're looking at like a Paralympic sport that has a full team with full structure, coaching, psychology, nutrition, the best to be the best. And I wanted to be the best at whatever it was I was doing. And I kind of realized that within climbing at that point, that I wasn't going to be, I might be the best, but I wasn't professional. That was what made me be like, okay, well, maybe there's another sport for me that I can pursue that is a Paralympic sport that would mean I could compete for the Paralympic GB team, which was my goal. They now run central ones, so Paralympics GB runs some. They're just running them, I think now, or they've just finished them for each cycle, where you can go and meet loads of sports. And then they'll kind of be like, oh, you might be good at rowing. Do you want to try rowing? Or you might be good at this. So that wasn't really running then. So I went to triathlon. And I also went to cycling at the same time, because I was like, well, I've learned to ride a bike now. May as well talk to cycling. And basically triathlon showed quite a lot of interest in me and helped me figure out how to ditch the crutches running.
Okay.
Which was involved getting different leg braces and stuff that are way more supportive and provide me with more stability and propulsion going forward, so I don't have to lean on the crutches with balance. Didn't lead to no falls. There were some epic face plants, but it did mean I could run.
Hi, Jamie. My name's Karin Davies. I am a rower, and I am from Ithaca, New York.
So in your mind, what does it mean to be an Olympian?
So the Olympic Charter has principles, and gosh, now I'm going to forget what they are. Friendship, excellence, respect, and there's a fourth one that I can't currently remember right now. So excellence, that's the one that's kind of the most salient, right? Mm-hmm. But we also talk about friendship, and we talk about respect. And a true Olympian on the way to achieving excellence honors the other parts of what it means to be an Olympian, and that you respect your competitors and you even befriend them. I mean, that was the whole point of the ancient Olympic Games, is that you put down your weapons and you make friends out of these people who are normally your enemies. And the Olympic Charter also says Olympism seeks to create a way of life based on the joy found in effort. So I've always been very conscious of trying to find joy in the effort of trying to get better. It really should be fun, and if it's not fun, why are you doing it?
I love it. Ben & Jerry's used to have a bumper sticker that said that exact thing. If it's not fun, why do it? So catch us up to today. You're now a successful lawyer. Very rarely do athletes talk about their lives after a competition. You mentioned that it is harder to be an employee than it was to be an athlete. Tell us about your daily life now.
Yeah, well, go back to when I was struggling and back to the self-determination theory, right? Competence, connection, and control. The control part was really missing for me when I was working at a big firm. I was doing long hours. And funny thing is, as an athlete, you work hard, but you also rest hard. You get lots of sleep, and so you can perform at your best. What I struggled with was I was not getting enough sleep, and I knew I wasn't performing at my best because I was tired all the time and grumpy and unhappy. So when I I cut from the team for Tokyo, I had to figure out, all right, how am I going to design a career where I can have things that I know help me be my best? And turns out having my own firm gave me that control where I do great work for my clients, and I'm very clear with them that I have a life and I need to get enough rest, and I'll get that to you in 3 days' time rather than tomorrow. And everyone's okay with that. And I'm very at this point I love being a lawyer because really it's about helping people. People call me with problems and I solve their problems.
We can expect until the end of this year about 130 million displaced the people and migrants.
Set by Mazia Hamidi, she was part of Afghanistan's national taekwondo team and she's won several gold medals.
I started taekwondo when I was in Iran. Into 2020, I moved to my country, Afghanistan, and I joined national taekwondo team in Afghanistan. I was in national taekwondo team and I was preparing for the Olympic Games in Paris. But because the Taliban came to Afghanistan and they took the power, I couldn't stay anymore in my country because they banned sport, school, everything for women. And I came to Paris, to the city of hosting Olympics this year. Now I'm training with the French team, but officially I will represent a refugee team at the Olympics in Paris 2024.
Tell us about your childhood growing up in Iran and also Afghanistan and what it means to be a woman there.
I was born in Iran and I grew up there as a refugee. They never accept me in society like them. And for me, it was very hard to study. For me, it was everything hard when I was in Iran because my parents were Afghan, because I was Afghan. But it was good. I had a good friend. My first coach in Taekwondo was an Iranian woman. She's amazing. There were people that they were supporting me and they were not against me and racist about my identity. But the system and many people, they were not happy of Afghan people that they are there. So this is the difficulty of being a refugee in Iran. It's not about to be a woman or man. It's difficult at all to be a refugee in Iran. But because of that, my parents, they decided to move to Afghanistan. When I moved to my country, I joined national team. I feel I have my identity, you know, I feel I am someone. I became in love with my country and the culture, the people. But because I was woman, for me it was more hard. Because they think that women are not strong. It's not just about the Taliban, it's about the society that many people, they didn't like to see a free woman, and especially a woman that is doing Taekwondo. And for them, it was like, oh, she's kicking so high. I can see her legs. They make it sexual, like the way that they talk about my sport, which is for me, it was a fight. I never, all of these sadness, sometimes it costs my energy. It can break me down, but at some point that gives me power to continue, because when I see, what's happening in my country, I don't want to give up. I'm like, no, I have to fight. There are millions of girls in Afghanistan. They are waiting for me and other women to talk about them, to fight for their rights. I have to use from this freedom to talk for my country, to the women, and to fight for them, and to be the voice of Afghan women out of Afghanistan, because nobody kill me here if I talk about Taliban and the problems,
Thanks for joining us. If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a positive review. If you want to impact the future stories we tell, take our community survey in the notes section of this podcast or in the YouTube links. We want to hear from you. Stay tuned for our next episode.
If you're not following the Flame Bearers channel, covering resilient women Olympians and Paralympians, hearing about their struggles, hopes, and triumphs, you don't know what you're missing. Subscribe and watch new episodes of Flame Bearers now.